What's up, you guys? We have an interesting one for you today. We are going to be breaking a video down that Simon Holland had made. Simon Holland is a TV science filmmaker. He's a great dude. You guys go check him out. I'll have everything linked down below because I'm going to be interrupting his video throughout the video, giving you my takes, showing you some other clips of why I think Simon's theory on the Tic Tac UFO is not sound and that there are holes in his theory. Now look, I'm not the end all be all here. It's just what I heard him say versus other stuff that I've heard from David Fravor and his co-pilot doesn't seem to match up with what he's saying here. Also, some radar footage is not matching up with what Simon is saying either. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. I'm going to show you some different clips and we're going to talk about it. And we're going to explain why I believe there are some holes in Simon Holland's theories. And Simon does talk about what he believes the Tic Tac is a pseudo-satellite. Now we're going to go over all that during the video. Enjoy.
My name is David Fravor. I'm a retired commander in the United States Navy. In 2004, I was a commanding officer of Strike Fighter Squadron 41, the world-famous Black Aces. We were attached to Carrier Wing 11, stationed on board the USS Nimitz, and had begun a 2-month workup cycle off the coast of California.
Yeah, David Fravor, what a man. CFI for the US Navy. Totally respect what he said. This is David Fravor, obviously in Congress, maybe under oath. This is the testimony you all need to listen to. Listen to every word he says. So for a start, he's confirming he's in a military operational area just off the coast of California. Absolutely. Go on, David.
On this day, we were scheduled for a 2v2 air-to-air training with the USS Princeton as our control. When we launched off Nimitz, my wingman was joining up. We were told that the training was going to be suspended and we were going to proceed with real-world tasking.
So why was it suspended? It was suspended because the Princeton on radar had seen something. So that meant that although multiple agencies can operate in an MOA, that's the FAA rules, because somebody else operating in their scheduled area, which is controlled airspace to protect it from FAA commercial traffic, wasn't talking to the controller. Why not? The controller of this MOA really need to come on my channel or anybody and explain who was there operating in their MOA that day. That's why their training was suspended.
As we proceeded to the west, the air controller was counting down the range to an object that we were going to, and we were unaware of what we were going to see when we arrived.
Yeah, so, yeah, they'd seen something on the range. Hear the word, the range. So they were definitely on a range.
The controller had told us that these objects had been observed for over 2 weeks, coming down from over 80,000 feet, rapidly descending to 20,000 feet, hanging out for hours, and then going straight back up for the realize above 80,000 feet is space.
This is the most salient point. So for over 2 weeks, the Princeton radar operator had seen these objects going from 80,000 feet down to 20,000 feet and then going back up. All right. That's exactly what a pseudo-satellite training mission would do.
The advanced new radar on a nearby ship, the USS Princeton, had detected what operators called multiple anomalous aerial vehicles over the horizon, descending 80,000 feet in less than a second.
Now, in the 60 Minutes video, when they're interviewing David Fravor and his co-pilot, they say that it came down within 1 second, from 80,000 feet to 20,000 feet. These satellites don't do that. For these satellites to move from 20,000 feet to 80,000 feet, you're looking anywhere between 60 minutes to 90 minutes for it to get from 20,000 feet all the way up to 80 to 90,000 feet. These things do not move that fast.
These are objects in our atmosphere. If this was non-human intelligence, it would have the ability to move in any medium, including space. But this is an object which has to retain in our atmosphere. It's something going from 20 to 80,000 feet. That's exactly what the DOE, the Department of Energy, are interested in building for the NRO, the National Reconnaissance Office, as long loitering pseudo-satellites. LEO satellites that actually stay in Earth's atmosphere. A proper satellite only zips past the place that you want to observe, say Gaza or Iran. If you can have a observation device at 80,000 feet way above flight levels, that's exactly what you want. Back when the Tic Tac was seen, this is what they were probably testing: a long loitering human buoyant craft that can change altitude. Carry on, David. You're doing well so far.
We arrived at the location at approximately 20,000 feet, and the controller called merge plot, which means that our radar blip was now in the same resolution cell as the contact. As we looked around, we noticed that we saw some whitewater off our right side. It's important to note that the weather on this day was as close to perfect as you could ask for off the coast of San Diego. Clear skies, light winds, calm seas, no whitecaps from waves. So the whitewater stood out in a large blue ocean.
So the white water is really interesting. It implies that whatever made the white water disturbed the water probably from underneath. And again, this is the technology. It could be submarine launched. That would be perfect. If you want to go to a conflict zone with a pseudo-satellite long loitering drone, it would be submarine launched.
All four of us, because we were in F-18Fs, so we had pilots and Wizzo in the back seat, looked down a small, saw a white Tic Tac object with a longitudinal axis pointing north-south and moving very abruptly over the water like a ping pong ball. There were no rotors, no rotor wash, or any sign of visible control surfaces like wings. As we started clockwise towards the object, my Wizzo and I decided to go down and take a closer look with the other aircraft staying in high cover to observe both us and the Tic Tac. We proceeded around the circle about 90 degrees from the start of our descent, and the object suddenly shifted its longitudinal axis, aligned it with my aircraft, and began to climb.
Horizontally? No. Climb vertically.
So it's sort of spiraling down?
Yep. The Tic Tac still pointing north-south. It goes and just turns abruptly and starts mirroring me. So as I'm coming down, it starts coming up.
So it's mimicking your moves.
Yeah, it was aware we were there.
Simon says that it's going vertically, insinuating that that's what these satellites do. They go up and down. But when you listen to what David Fravor says here on 60 Minutes, he says that it's mimicking him. The person that's interviewing him says, so it's mimicking you, and he acknowledges, yes, it knew we were there. So with that being said, I would assume it wasn't going straight up. If it was mimicking him with him coming down in a circular motion, the Tic Tac was doing the same, just going upwards.
We continued down another 270 degrees, nose low, where the Tic Tac, or we considered 270 degrees to where, and we went nose low to where the Tic Tac would have been. Our altitude at this point was about 15,000 feet, and the Tic Tac was about 12,000.
So the Tic Tac's coming up, they're going down in a spiral. I mean, planes don't go down vertically, they come down in a spiral descent. So Fravor is descending fast in his F-18 down towards the Tic Tac as it is ascending vertically.
So with that being said, I would assume it wasn't going straight up. If it was mimicking him with him coming down in a circular motion, the Tic Tac was doing the same, just going upwards.
Goes onto the object within about a half mile of it. It rapidly accelerated in front of us and disappeared. Our wingmen, roughly 8,000 feet above us, lost contact also.
So it rapidly accelerated and disappeared, but the wingman above it also lost contact. He's not being very clear here, and I think this is open for misinterpretation. I think what he's saying is it continued its vertical climb. There's no talk about horizontal because the wingman up above, 8,000 feet above, also lost it. It just continued to climb, in my humble opinion.
We immediately turned back to see where the whitewater was at, and it was gone also.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's no longer disturbed the water. It's gone up into high atmospheric, it's going up to 70, 80,000 feet, as they do.
So as you started to turn back towards the east, the controller came up and said, "Sir, you're not going to believe this, but that thing is at your cap point, roughly 60 miles away in less than a minute."
So this is very confusing. So Sure, the controller from the Princeton, saw something at the CAP point. CAP is the muster point where Fravor and the other F-18s would go to and then hold there, and then one at a time return back to the carrier. Yeah, no, that's really weird. How would a non-human intelligence actually know of a daily scheduled CAP point? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Only somebody who would know where the Navy CAP point would be able to go there. But Fravor's confused here. He didn't see it go there. He was told that you can't believe it, but the object is at your CAP point. There was no horizontal movement seen or reported by Fravor. It was just at the point. Is it possible that there was another one that came down? But why would it be at the CAP point? Who would know that? I find that very disturbing. I think possibly there were more than one Tic Tac. One went up and one went down, but I'm guessing. I really don't know. Nor does the people on the Princeton. It's not clear.
You can calculate the speed.
Okay, so that's a great kind of leap of faith. So he's saying where he is, and you can calculate the speed to where the CAP point, so it's implying that it moved horizontally, but nobody saw it moving horizontally.
Seconds later, the Princeton reacquired the target, 60 miles away. Another crew managed to briefly lock onto it with a targeting camera before it zipped off again.
All right, guys, as you can see in the footage here, this is a radar footage that they had, and you can see it. So this is their cap point where they saw the second one within a 2 minutes period of time, right? And they locked onto it, and you could physically see, you could ocularly see it moving to the left. So it's making those horizontal movements that Simon says it's not making. We have it on camera, we know what it's doing, and it is making those movements. So is it a pseudo-satellite? I don't think it is. I think it's awesome that Simon is, a skeptic, and he's throwing out his theories and stuff like that. I think that's freaking awesome, and I appreciate that, because we can't just go in there just believing everything, because there's so much BS out there, and you got to sift through all the BS to try to find the facts, And this one here, I do think, with all the respect in the world to Simon, but I do think there's some holes in Simon's theory, and I don't think it holds up. Anyways, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe down below, and you guys let me know what you think. I want to hear what you guys think. Do you think Simon's theory is sound, or do you think there's some holes in his theory? And what I've kind of showed you today kind of opens that up. But I'm going to go on the record right now. I'm going to say I do believe it is anomalous. I think it is something that can't be explained. And yeah, you guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.